Hello, lone wanderers and fellow vault dwellers. I got a decent amount of likes on my last debunking video here. Sorry about the quality of the last one. I had to record it on my phone really quickly and I had to go do something. So this one is going to be a little bit different, better quality. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to be debunking the Kotaku, quote-unquote, how you say, what is he? Screenplay documents? I don't even know. Casting play, screenplay, who knows? I've highlighted a few things. Some of the things on here are already highlighted because for whatever reason they did that. I don't know why. The rest of it is me. First off, we're going to talk about, this part is cut off because I'm trying to split it into 3 sections. I screen capped and everything like that. You don't really need to know anything, but other than that's pretty much supposed to be your character. I don't know of any screenplay that will have a picture of your character on it. So that's red flag number 1. Number 2 is the player narrates the game, as I highlighted here. The player narrates the game, right? You can see it, right? Okay, yeah. The player narrates the game's introduction. So that means the player has a damn voice. Okay, despite, the video that I made that Ron Perlman, he said that he won't be in Fallout 4, or maybe he hasn't done the acting yet. Despite him not being in it, they could always do someone else with an equally awesome voice, Like, I don't know if you've ever seen that Battlefield narrator on, GameSpot? No. Gamerspawn? Yeah. That dude has, a pretty awesome voice. I'm just saying, they could have anyone with an awesome voice. It doesn't really matter. Ron Perlman is the shit. Don't get me wrong. But here we go. The player narrates the game's introduction. We have never had a voiced player. A lot of people are complaining or saying that this is a red flag, that there's no dialogue options in this screenplay. I don't think that's really an issue here because of this screenplay. You never know. But here we go. So one of the things I highlighted is the 21st century. So he's talking about 1945 great-grandfather serving in the army. He wondered dropping atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So the 21st century, so from what they're saying here is when when everyone started nuking each other, that's when this game is taking place, which means that this game would be taking place in a skewed timeline of the regular Fallout games. Normally, the Fallout games, it takes place, here, right after the bombs fell, and you go and do your thing, and then the next Fallout game, it progresses a few years, and the next Fallout game, it progresses a few years, and the next, I think Fallout 3 started at one time, and then Fallout New Vegas started at a later time, so it progresses in time. This would mean that this goes back in time to when the regular bombs fell, because what he's talking about is he's from the 21st century, so he's awaking nearing the time of the bombs or whatever. So this is ridiculous. Now next is, we stand on the brink of the total war. I am afraid for myself, my wife, and infant son. So brink of total war, he's saying that the world is about to collapse. Now the next part here is my wife, infant son, and my time in the army. That means he has a background, and it also means that the player can only be a male. Basically, it means you can only be a male. Or that you're a lesbian and you have a female wife, but it's constricting you, is what I'm trying to say, is he's most likely only a male, and he has a background, which is not good. He has a background, he has a wife, he has a background, he has an infant son, as you can see here. Infant son. Time in the army. So in Fallout games, you don't have in the Fallout games and the Elder Scrolls games, you don't have a background. Yeah, you sort of had a background in New Vegas. That was kind of stupid. You had a small background in Fallout 3. It was kind of stupid too. You don't have backgrounds in these games. The reason being is this is a role-playing game. You're supposed to create your own background. You've had no background up until this point. From the start of this game, you've done nothing with your life, and from The point forward is when you develop your stories that you tell your children and kin and whatever you want to do it. But that's when you start it, you have average skills. You have everything's even, and you start learning. Okay, do I want to be good at guns? Do I want to be good at explosives? Do I want to be good at lock picking? Before then, you have nothing. So you're supposed to create your own stories here. Giving people a background is not what is in the Fallout lore or in the Elder Scrolls lore. And the next part, which I'll further expand upon into these documents, is that this whole screenplay is written really strange. It's that, okay, up here it says, the small highlightation, it says war. War never changes. And right here, as you can see, right, you can see it, even though it's kind of on the bottom, it says war never change. There's no S, it says change. Alright? If Bethesda actually made these documents, one, that picture of your character would not be there. Number two, there would not be that error of war never change. It would say, it's that war never changes. It also has period right there. War never changes. It's that war. There would have been a period there. There's no period. Okay. Let's get on to the next one. The next one isn't as in depth as this one. Alright. I have 3 highlighted things. The other one is what they highlighted. And it says that the player has fought his way into the museum. Again, like I said, the player has fought his way, so that expands upon it that he's only a male. You can only be a male according to these quote-unquote Fallout 4 documents. His wife. So, I know I said the person could be a lesbian. I mean, I guess he could be if he's, has a wife. But, again, what I'm saying is, player has fought his way. Not his or her. It should say, the player has fought his or her way into the museum. That's what it should say. Next is, into the museum and reached what functions as a small redoubt. A redoubt is a small fort of some sort, which, again, I'm going to get into these documents that is written really strangely. Now, what do I mean by that? It should have just said, he fought his way into the museum and reached what functions as a small fort. It should have just said that instead of saying a redoubt. It's really strange. It's hard, if a director is reading these and trying to tell his voice actors, alright, picture this in your head so you get the best possible voice acting, most of the time they're going to say, what the hell's a redoubt? Am I doubting myself? What is that? Am I redoubting? I don't know what the hell that means. So if a director is reading these and he's trying to tell his voice actors to imagine this and capture the voice in that likeness, they're not going to do that as effectively by using that word. Okay? Next, this screenplay is, this part I highlighted the mercenaries. This whole sentence is written really strangely. The mercenaries, leader, Preston Garvey. There's too many pauses in that thing. There's too many pauses in that sentence. They should have rearranged it differently. So we'll go on to the next one. This one is a little bit more in depth, like the first one. The first highlightation, if that's even a word, just making that up as I go along, apparently. There is a crashed chopper on the roof. Okay, in the Fallout universe, there is no such thing as helicopters. They have vertibirds. Okay? So the next part, I have a long highlighted section. The fusion core out of the battery compartment, we could power up our weapons. Okay, in the Fallout universe, sorry about that. In the Fallout universe, weapons are not powered by anything. You don't have to recharge weapons, at least up until the next point, but you don't have to recharge weapons in the Fallout universe. If you have a hunting rifle, the only thing that you need to put through it is bullets, and you have to repair it every now and then. Like everything, you have to repair everything, but that's not the point of this. Weapons don't need to get plugged into the wall. Alright, hold on, I gotta plug my cell phone. It's not like that. You don't plug your gun into the local outlet. Or, oh shit, my weapon is running low on energy here. I have to fill that up before I can shoot you some more. No. Weapons run on microfusion cells, and other things that I can't remember off the top of my head, because I haven't played a Fallout game in a long time because my Xbox broke, and I'm using a PS4. So, yeah. So, that's the next part, and they highlighted it again. That's not my... That's their fusion core. Sorry. Got a scratchy throat. And this is the next part that a lot of people are saying as evidence for it not being fake, but it's a minor one, I guess. It says, this bottom part here. But when this thing is over, I keep the toys, the rifle, and the fusion core. Wish me luck. Which they're basically saying he wouldn't be able to carry that out because apparently the fusion core is really heavy. I don't know how heavy it is. You'll have to make note of that in the comments sections on how heavy it really is. But people are saying that you wouldn't be able to carry both of those or something like that. So, that is me debunking these Kotaku documents. That is enough evidence for me to say that these are fake. There are way too many errors in there to be real. So, I hope you enjoyed.